morning, everyone. It's Christy, and it is a fabulous Friday today. So I hope you guys are all here and ready for a wonderful weekend. I know it is a little chillier than we had anticipated today. However, Kathleen and I are happy in the office that it doesn't smell bad. So if you have been in the office at all this week, at least since Wednesday, you know of our crazy dilemma with our pipes and the pressure in our plumbing and some of the crazy smells that we've had this week. So we're super excited that that is all wonderful and taken care of. I'm going to try to kind of angle my camera here a little bit better so I can scoot back because I have paperwork to show you guys today. I know you're so excited because what I want to discuss today is some broker bids. You guys know I'm pretty persnickety when it comes to checking contracts. And I pretty much take the time to check contracts every day. I don't want you guys to be waiting on me to check contracts and wanted to open it up today to really talk about some of the things that I'm seeing, some of the misses that we're having, as well as our new broker only commission that I sent out all the forms to you guys yesterday. They should be up in Reminds Docs Plus today by Monday at the latest. They're working on those. But kind of want to just throw a couple things out there that I'm seeing and let you guys know why and answer some questions if anybody jumps on and has any questions that you have. So first thing, I'm going to jump right into it and let's talk about the purchase and sale agreement first. First and foremost, you guys are doing so awesome and so much better at getting your contracts uploaded and into the system and into Transaction Manager. I'm having less and less things that I'm finding. So thank you so much for just being on top of it. I truly believe that agents want to work with us. They want to do business with us because we are professional. We have great paperwork and we are on the ball. Okay. You guys all know how it is to work with amazing professional co-oping agents. Other agents feel the same way, right? And when you work with someone that does an awesome job on their side, it makes your job 10, 15, 20 times easier. They want to work with you too. So that's our biggest concern besides just being legal is we want to be the agents of choice for other agents to see our listings and see our business and really want to work with us. So paperwork is a huge part of that. Obviously, we want to be legal. We want to ensure that we are doing everything in compliance with not only license law and GREC, but we want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves and protecting our licensure because if this ever escalates up, we want to make sure we have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. So on that, I want to talk a little bit about on the purchase and sale agreements, some of the things that I am sending back. One of the first things is in section, on the first page, obviously the biggest thing is I'm seeing is still in that purchase and sale section number 1, which is our legal description section. Now I know that a lot of you are dealing with FSBOs or you're dealing with properties that maybe don't have an MLS number. Not having an MLS number is not one of those situations that it is part of the legal description, nor is it part of the actual property address. If you don't have a MLS number, that's fine. But when in doubt, don't leave a blank. Look at it this way. For those of you who are not millennials or, Gen Zers, and you know what a check is, you would never sign your name to a check and leave everything else blank, right? You wouldn't just hand somebody a check with your name signed to it. Well, when you have a contract that you have your buyers and sellers sign it and you don't have blanks completely filled out, you are literally signing a check and handing it to someone with blanks. It's kind of dangerous. All right. So there's certain things on a contract that you have to have blanks completely filled out. There's nothing that you can leave open. Now, the MLS number is one of those that is not detrimental to a contract. It doesn't make a contract invalid or voidable, but rule of thumb, just put in A, okay? There's not an MLS number or you don't know the MLS number, just put in A. It's not applicable. You're never going to go wrong if you put in A. It's kind of like a disclosure. When in doubt, disclose, 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 right? That's what Seth always tells us, right? But the tax parcel ID number is required. Every single property in the state of Georgia, actually in the nation, but in the state of Georgia has a tax parcel ID. And you say, but wait a minute, Christy, what if they're selling multiple properties? Okay. What if it's a parcel that, they're selling one piece of land and there's multiple pieces of land? That's completely fine. The main parcel goes in the tax parcel ID, that parcel number, and then you list the rest of them in your special stipulations. But the tax parcel ID number has to be filled out. If you do not know where to find that, you can find it either on Georgia MLS or FMLS. If you go to the tax search, you can actually do it from the property in MLS. If you're looking on the MLS records, you can hit tax records. It will either take you to their tax office suite, which is within the MLS system, or it'll take you to the QPublic site. QPublic is an outside site, but all state searching records have it. Okay, if you have a problem finding that, let me know. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a tech tip. I'm gonna start doing tech tips once a week and sticking them up on Facebook and our YouTube channel so that you guys can see where to search for some of this stuff, because it's really very user friendly and you guys need to know where to be able to find that. But the tax parcel ID number has to be on there, guys. This is not an option, and it's not an NA because it can be found. So please make sure you're doing that. And this is where it goes. So right here, and I've highlighted it, the tax parcel ID number has to be there. All right. Second thing, you guys all got a copy of our wonderful little information sheet that I sent out. So on that, at the bottom right here, is the GSCCCA login. There should be nobody in our office at all that does not have access to have a legal description of the property, so you can check box that, or the deed book and page. Now you say to me, but Christy, what if it's my listing and I get I get a contract in that doesn't have this information on it? Yes, I know. That can be very frustrating, right? Well, if you write a counter offer for the property, add those things on the counter offer, okay? You can actually add anything that's left off the contract on the counter offer besides just what you're countering with the price, closing costs, etc. So if you have a counter offer and they forgot the tax parcel ID, put it on the back. If you have a counter offer and they checked box number 4, which we all know right here, can get us in trouble because we may not have the correct land lot, block, text, whatever, write on your special stipulations on your counter offer that the legal description of the property is the same as described in deed book blank, page blank. Put it in there for them. A lot of agents may not understand or have the training that you guys have had to understand that they need to do this. Do it for them. Part of the preamble for the National Association of Realtors in our Code of Ethics says our responsibilities to the public. That's customers and clients. It may not be your client, but it's the person on the other side. It's our responsibility to take care of them and to protect them. Part of that is making sure they're buying the right property. Let's be honest, okay? So make sure that you guys take a step up and do that. If you get a contract in that box number 4 is checked and the only thing in there says it's then subdivision Wildwood, that is not a legal description. If it says land lot 4, subdivision Wildwood, that's not a legal description. All right, let's take a step up, guys. Let's be the bigger person. Let's be the professional here. Let's make it right. Cool? All right, next thing, of course, we know purchase price we've got to fill in. If there is no closing cost, put 0. Put NA. We can't leave that blank. It's not an option. Here we go. You want a blank check? You don't want somebody to go back and write something in. On a contract, to let you know in the state of Georgia, anything that is written, a wet signature, something written in hand, supersedes anything that's typed. Yes. Make sure you do not leave any blanks that could be filled in later on. All right, so put 0. Of course, closing and possession date, holder of the earnest money. Make sure on that earnest money line you are checking those check boxes. Is it check, ACH, cash, wire? The next thing that I'm seeing, and this comes from a lot of people from when we're getting contracts in, and I understand that, but here on the brokerage engagement, all right? Now let's be honest. If you're making a contract and you're the the buyer's agent and you're writing a contract for someone's listing and you got the listing off MLS, it says on the MLS, exclusive agency. All right. If it says that, then guess what? They're a client. You check that box right there that says client. All right. Representing the seller as a client. So you can't say you didn't know. There again, you also know how you're representing yours. So there's no reason that these boxes aren't checked when we do our contracts. All right. And if you are that concerned, pick up the phone and ask. Don't leave them blank. And don't ask the other agent to fill it out. This is our responsibility as we're filling out contracts. And of course, material relationship. Just put in A, put none. We just don't want anyone to leave anything in question, right? We want to make sure that everything is clear. If for some reason you're selling a house for another agent, you still have to put on there that the owner of the home is a licensed agent in Georgia. The owner of the home is a licensed agent in Nebraska, right? You don't want anything to come back. This is a disclosure situation. Make sure you guys know that. And last but certainly not least, see this time limit down here? Please don't leave that blank. If you see that it is left blank, please make sure that you are taking note and you are calling the other agent and you are asking the other agent to please put a time limit in, or you're asking the other agent what the time limit is, and everyone is filling it in, initialing and signing it. You do not hear, that's the worst blank check there is. Because if there's no time limit, what happens in 2 months if you send this out to someone and the seller decides 2 months later to sign it? And it's happened. All right, we don't want that kind of crazy stuff to happen. All right, so that's purchase and sale. Now, the next thing, let's talk about some amendments. All right, the biggest thing I'm seeing on amendments, you guys are doing a great job when it's coming to getting that acceptance date signed on the bottom, on the back. Everybody's signing it. You're doing an awesome job with that. But I'm seeing this is missed quite a bit. At the top right here where it says binding agreement date, we're missing that binding agreement date, guys. We have to put that binding agreement date in there. We all have one. You wouldn't be writing an amendment to the contract if there wasn't a binding agreement date. Please make sure you guys are checking that if you get a contract in, if you get an amendment to the purchase and sale agreement or amendment to the contract that doesn't have that in there, add that in there. You need that binding agreement date on all amendments for properties. And when you're changing anything on the property, whether it's an amendment to address concerns, it's an amendment for repairs, or it's an amendment to the closing or possession date where there are boxes to be checked. We can't skip boxes, right? So of course we got the binding agreement date on here. You see, yes, everybody fills out like this is to change the closing possession. We know that there again, we get that in there. We get the closing date, but there's boxes here and boxes here. We have to make sure that we fill all of them out because it's an and or. So you see here, it's one or the other. The or is capitalized. And here we have to check one of these as well. So we want to make sure that we have all of this completely filled out and checked off, because if not, what we have the problem of is we actually have an invalid contract, which means we really just wasted our time filling out a contract. We don't want that to happen. So make sure as you guys are going through this and you're working through these contracts, just take an extra 2 minutes, 1 minute, go back through, double check it, make sure of what you're seeing and what you're putting on the paper is really what you want to go to the buyer, to the seller, and vice versa. Now, one thing that's come up this past week that I want to address, because this has happened to several people, is the zero due diligence and the right to request repairs. Let me try that again. Right to request repairs. Oh, obviously I need coffee. Now, yes, we've been seeing this quite a bit. And for those of you who have sellers, this could actually work pretty positively in your favor. For those of you who have buyers, yes, it could help you get a property and get something under contract, but you both need to know on both sides how this can be helpful and how this can be harmful. So first and foremost, if you have never read The right to request repairs amendment, you need to actually read it verbatim, word for word, because it states in there very clearly that the right to request repairs is not repairs as in, oh, a GFCI outlet's messed up. It is latent defects with the property that could be hazardous to the property and to the person purchasing the property. Okay. Now, granted, yes, that could be debatable. However, don't allow your buyer, if you're a buyer's agent, to think that they're going to be able to do an inspection, and if they just don't like that there are some things on the inspection that, you know, the gutters need to be cleaned out and the rose bushes need to be trimmed back, that they're going to be able to terminate the contract and get their earnest money back. That's not the way a right to request repairs works. On the flip side, as a seller and as a listing agent, don't think your seller can also agree not to do anything, because on both sides, there is an even balance that has to happen when you accept the terms of a right to request repairs. So please make sure, if you have any questions on this, that you are reading it. You're reading it thoroughly. You're discussing with both seller and buyer the terms and what can happen positively and negatively. Because as we're having these kind of situations and all of these offers that are coming to us in rapid fire succession, we want to make sure that we're doing what we can as agents to keep it as organized and clean as we can for our clients. Now, I'm going to give some huge shout outs here, because Gloria in our office had an amazing idea. She put all of hers in an Excel spreadsheet. She got 39 offers on a property for her seller. Okay. And she actually put them all down in an Excel spreadsheet so that every offer, and she labeled them 1 to 39. So she didn't have to go back and try to remember, oh, this offer was from this agent at this brokerage. She actually labeled them so she could remember this is offer number 1, and it had a number 1 on it. So as she was discussing with her seller, it wasn't which offer, it was offer number 2, offer number 12. And they were coordinated on a spreadsheet so that she could not only be organized, her seller could be organized, and they could make a very rational, very honest and unbiased decision by strictly what offer was going to be best for them. So guys, if you know, Gloria, I'm throwing you out there. If you have any questions, ask Gloria. She's been in the business. She understands what's going on, and she did a fantastic job. She actually showed me her spreadsheet and gave me a copy of it. Guys, these are the kind of things that we need to do, and we need to help each other out when we're having these kind of crazy and huge amount of offers, because we're not going to see any slowdown through the summer. If anything else, you have a huge opportunity to get more listings. Obviously, we've talked about the Just One More. Did you see how many homes came on the market this week? Did you look? Because I look every day. It's crazy. More homes are popping up every single day. You should see how many houses we have coming up just this weekend in our office. You guys are seeing them. Kathleen's doing an amazing job getting them out there. All these coming soons. It's happening. We need to be prepared for it. Speaking of that, let's talk about this broker-only commission. All right, I sent out all the new forms yesterday for our brokerage agreements, for our listing agreements with the new broker-only commission. It is $249. All right, so it went up from $195. If you have any clients that you were working with prior to April 1st, it is still $195. So that goes for buyers too. If you need me to do any exceptions, you need to come and talk to me personally. Otherwise, it's $249. So we can handle that. We'll do any one-offs that we need to, but you need to personally have that conversation with me. Otherwise, we did have a call out that on some of the forms, it actually says 20 with no line to write in 21. So they are correcting that, because on the forms we have now, you actually write in, you know, 2020 or 2021. So they are getting those corrected. So if you use these forms before they get them updated, just make sure you write in 21 on the back side of those. Since they forgot to put that extra little line in there when they were updating everything. Any scripts that you guys may need to have those conversations with your sellers or buyers, please let me know. Guys, this is not a huge big deal. It's just an additional $50. But what this does is this actually helps all of us. This supports all of us so that you guys don't have that extra work to do. This fee actually goes to help the brokerage so that we can have ample space, the admin support, the pod support. And I know that all of us don't want to have to do all that extra paperwork. So what this does is this helps us. So guys, don't look at it as a stress for your buyers and sellers. Look at this as that this is actually a bonus to help us. And to be really honest with you, if you are confident about it and you just say, hey, this is just a broker only fee, we charge it in the office because this gives us the liberty and freedom to be able to help you even more. You know what? Your buyers and sellers are going to say, okay. Most of them just want the confidence from you to know that they're just going to get even better service from you. And for $250, you guys rock it out anyway. I don't think you're going to have any problems with that. So any questions, please let me know on that. And otherwise, guys, use these broker bids. Any questions on your contracts, please let me know. I'm so proud of where we've come and what we're doing and how things are going. And I just cannot wait to see how awesome the rest of April is going to be. For those of you who are doing Easter this weekend, happy Easter. Celebrate with your family. Enjoy the holiday. For those of you going on spring break next week that's going to be out of town, please make sure that you guys be careful. I will be in the office Monday and Tuesday. I'm actually taking Wednesday to Friday to spend some time with my family. So I will be out of the office, but I will be available via phone, email, text message. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. And I hope you guys have a fantastic, fabulous Friday. Make sure today that you do something nice, pay it forward, and share your smile with someone that needs it. Hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.